Hi Sagittarius, welcome to your Virgo season, September 2024 reading. We have another new setup. I'm really liking it so far. I hope you do too. If you do, if you don't, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you have noticed or not, by now, you have been going through some things like with a fine-tooth comb. You have been taking a look at things that, whether you know it or not, is coming from the perspective of your own, where your own alchemization, your own transformation, your own space in the world, and what that looks like moving through your mind and your body. And also in terms of what you've been deceived as well. What is your responsibility? What is no longer, when is it time that responsibility is no longer how to engage with the present moment? Sometimes, you know, there's a lot to be said about accepting and then accountability and then taking responsibility, and sometimes those are the steps of responsibility. Right now it's about how you proceed with yourself. This is how you interact with your mind, how that causes you to make decisions or not. Where, ooh, 3 more cards. It's like being dealt a hand. It's where it is that you are giving your strength away, the strength that you actually need too. This isn't just about you know, you are the strongest, so yeah, that is something that you utilize a lot, especially physically, but it's where it's been harming you internally and how that affects how you make decisions externally. And how that reflects on what you were maybe raised to do. How at times moving your body or just going to work or just getting to it was defying and being defiant of yourself in the ways in which your body actually needed rest and not listening to it, basically. So you're being defiant of what your body's needs were. Boom. Because maybe you've been parentified to do so. So if this is hitting that section, and we're just going super intuitive at first, and if I need to, I will take out the planets, because we will talk about Mercury, because Mercury will be moving into back into Virgo very, very soon. Sorry, I do have stuff, notes and stuff, okay? When your rules are within you, quite frankly, are starting to shift. Your first initial thought is to make a rash decision. A lot of you, it's about buying something external. That's like one way. Another way is to, take a risk without being impulsive. Let's just talk about that. Being impulsive, whether it's with just accumulating something you wanted, something that might suit your ego, make you look like you are, like you got it going on. And, you know, you do, don't get us wrong. But where has that stopped you from doing and addressing what is actually needed to be addressed? And I think that's what you're starting to see here is like, especially where you put your money, where you put your value, where you outsource your self-worth. You're beginning to create, because of this, it allows you to create in a new way. It's giving you life in a new way. Yes, for a lot of people, that would be really hard to hear. And for you, it is to an extent. However, what that gives you a lot of power to do, and where you can put all of that power that you've been outsourcing or giving away unconsciously, is put it into the skills that you have that will provide you with the means to move forward. And it's just about focusing your mental energy. We also have the Ace of Swords at the bottom of the deck. It's addressing these with the care and attention that you need now. One thing Virgo season does bring to light is that criticism, of course. Like, no doubt, that is a very natural stereotype. But when you learn how to utilize how healing that very acute antidote, it's not, this is where people get, this is where the difference between, you know what, everyone's learning and on some kind of journey, but this is what people don't understand about Virgos and how they work. They're not saying it because they can, because they want to. At times it may feel like that, but at other times it could be a defense mechanism too. It could be any of those things. And it can also be that they're just hitting that spot. It's like when you're getting massaged or it's just that spot. You know what I'm saying? I know you can connect it. I don't want to go there, but I know you can connect it. It just hits the spot, like the right food, the right thing. It just all hits. And you love that. And yet at the same end, someone who can do that for all the good things, we get so mad and frustrated about how they can point out the negative sometimes, if not given the way that we want it to be given. Of course, we want to be loved the way that we want to be loved, but so do Virgos, right? And I'm only pointing that out because you're very similar in that way together, because there's a part of you that when put against the heat have been at times caused to self-destruct, right? You know, we all have our button, and yours is fire. You know, you keep the thought going. This is a lot of cards, Sagittarius. We're gonna go through them though. Like, we're just gonna trust it. Being able to be clear and accept the clarity of the season is going to give you a lot of attention to where you've been giving too much attention to, especially if it has to do with a mother figure or someone with Cancer placements, or if you are someone with Cancer placements. It's time to not be too demanding of yourself, but learn to have boundaries with that part of you that demands responsibility. Mars is also in Cancer. We have to take responsibility for where we're at now, more than ever. Your mind, your body, your well-being, your soul, you can go as far and as woo as you want with it, or not. But the clarity is here, and it makes us, this is just, yes. Follow your body into your mind. We're going to get poetic. Follow your body into your mind and connect with that space. Connect with the part of you that can go into your heart and commit to something. Have you committed to revenge? Have you committed to, doing something good for yourself from a negative space just to prove to yourself something before and nailed it, just to get to the goal and realize that's not the goal? It's like, oh, did it change you, or was it just to get what you wanted and you didn't get it? Because I'm sure you've done both. This is allowing yourself to digest in your mind what is more fulfilling at this time, where you stand so sure in yourself that this you transmute impulsivity into a solid risk. Uranus in retrograde in Taurus is perhaps really having you look back to where you have invested in something you knew was risky just because you liked the way someone made you feel at the time, or where that has been the pattern of your healing. There's no right or wrong, but if either of those agree with you or hit you, trigger you, whatever, that's not why Virgo season is here. It's not here to make you abrasive or upset for what's coming up. It's making you engage with it differently. It wants to have a different conversation with you. And sometimes, when you get into those conversations and those, they're going to be really heavy, but you have to, if you're going to say something heavy, you gotta commit to it. And if you're not a Sagittarius who does, it's really time for you to show up. And if you can't, then just get the fuck out of their life, or tell someone to get the fuck out of your life, or just part ways. Like, just call it for what it is. If you can't fully jump into the commitment, don't do it. Okay? This is about allowing yourself to commit to the process of your healing within your brain for some of you. For Sagittarius risings, I'm just looking at my notes here. This is also about taking the good with the bad for wherever you work in the world, what your career looks like, and how you want that to evolve. And if you're asking for more, sometimes you have to understand that this will test different parts of you. Others of you really want to shift maybe your career, your work, and this is a good time to put that out there, because things can happen really quite nicely, actually. Especially, also, I do want to get into your love life, and I do have more cards. Now is not the time to be overly harsh, but to be adamant with what you want. What do I mean by that? Just stand strong in what you know and is true about you, even if it's hard at times. Breaking through a traditional way of making money also may be on your mind. Yeah, so a change of job could be cards are coming out, Virgo, Taurus, these are your money and career and work access. So if you're wanting to change jobs and something comes your way, don't be afraid to take the risk. Remember that. You just have to be able to put in the work. You just have to commit to the full thing. Don't just say just because it looks cool or it's something that seems like it would be great. If you want to learn, it's time. And it may cause you and give more, I wouldn't say pressure, but bring up almost right away what it is that you're not fully committed to emotionally, and how addressing that with a different, just approaching that differently, approaching how you relate to tradition. And knowing that when you do, even if something good comes of this, right? You get a new job, you transition, you're happy. Sometimes those moments still come with hardship. And to remember that doesn't mean to quit. That doesn't mean to just fuck it. Not that you're always like that, but I think at this point, so much could be happening. But it's only because there's more. There's more. And what the more is for some of you is having the strength enough to turn down an old pattern, especially if it's engaging with people in a way that you're normally used to, but in the end leaves you feeling less than, leaves you feeling like, oh, this is a consistent maybe trap you're actually putting yourself in. Yes, you crave freedom, or that's what maybe you're looking for, but within what kind of guidelines? What are those guidelines now? Especially within love. Virgo season, Gemini, Jupiter is transiting your 7th house of partnership, and your health is keen because it comes right, the work and health come right before partnership. And it's because, we have to have a job. We don't necessarily have to have a partner, and that's not always true, of course, but to some extent we have to have a way of making money. It's not necessarily true that we have to have a partner, right? At some point in life it was that way, but it's still, there were always those people in time at some point that didn't follow those rules either. And so if it's been a part of the culture, if it's been a part of the nature of the people, or how you've connected with people and how you've learned to feel safe in the world is to communicate in a certain way and go along to get along. And I'm not saying that Sagittariuses are always this way, but I think maybe in work or certain parts of your relationship, you will you can do that, but then it ends up coming out in another way. And if you've been experienced that, whether it's like passive aggression or saying something without wanting to, again, get fully into it, but just wanting to say it maybe for the upper hand or power. Pluto has gone retrograde. And no, Pluto has been retrograde. Excuse me. It's just gone back into Capricorn. And that will be for your resources. So this is this is a lot of your money houses. This is also partnership too, and I want to get into that as well even deeper. So your you get scared of losing your individuality, but then for some of you, that's exactly what happens when you can get into relationships sometimes. And then when you notice, it can scare you, and then you maybe want this drastic change, and so much happens in this realm for you sometimes. If you know you want commitment, if you know you want what's real, just be honest with yourself. Mars in Cancer is going to get you there one way or another, but I think it's going to become very clear that you need to make a decision for yourself, because that's what you need right now, or that's what you come to realize is that's what you need for fulfillment, is to move through this. And whether that's a literal conscious thought or not, by the, I was saying the 9th and I apologize, it's the 8th. So by the 8th, Mercury moving back into Virgo for its last little go around before it moves into Libra at the end of the month. And this is where it will become very clear to you what gets in your head and what transmutes before it even comes out of you to make a decision or to even say something in general. Because if you want marriage, or if you're wanting something with the person that you're with, it's now the time to get into that. And it may feel like you're just saying it, but you're actually serious this time, and you're very clear, because there's a certain way of tradition, and there's a certain thing. I had a discussion, it was a really good one today, with a fellow Virgo, not that you are, but in Virgo season. And we were talking about the Sagittarian, and specifically like where it was in my house or in my chart, but in general, how you guys are so interesting because you crave freedom, but on your growth to freedom, you need rules in order to keep yourselves grounded enough so that you just don't go out and just you're just setting, when in The Lion King, when they start the fire, I think it's the second one, I don't know, and they do, it's been a while, and they're just like, roasty taste the print. I just keep thinking of that. And there's just someone in your life, or there's something in your life that makes you just feel like you want to burn it all down. I just want you to recognize that, and that may be a reactive thing, reactive response, trauma response perhaps, to some of the feelings that could be coming up. Because these feelings also, let's be honest, Sagittarius, this isn't easy to deal with. I know that you're strong and people think that you're strong, but things will start to show if you don't start to address them. And it's very important for you to get clear on what it is that you want in your love life, because you can attract so many different kinds of people right now. We have all these pages out. But why they may not stick around, or why they may not be exactly like your person for the moment, or what you may need to see through and wait on and not like make any drastic decisions about, is because towards the end of the month, there's a part of you that recognizes that going through all this will be maybe after you start to meet some new people, because you've walked away from something very real, or you've really put your heart out there, or you really put something out there in a way that is vulnerable, but you are protecting your heart, I should say. I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. And if anyone is trying to pressure you, I would just like take a step back from that, because that's never, I don't think, a positive thing. Patience is what I think you actually do need and crave at times. But you may look around at some point and realize that you have been maybe surrounded by a certain energy, a certain kind of person who has also been in a similar area as you, and maybe it needed to present in this way for you to learn and recognize. For some of you, and for others of you, it's because you're recognizing that this is what's keeping you from evolving into the next level, that this is all just broken down into who do you move on with? Like, who do you actually trust? By the end of the month, you will begin to understand who it is that you trust more, and how this has to do with what you're evolving within yourself, and because it's where you felt maybe most alone. It's maybe where you felt like this was the way that you even coped with rejection or things that didn't work out, or whatever that is, fill in the space for you. And we're having the eclipses start this month, and in your house of like foundation, home, how again you're raised. So clearing this up in such a short period of time and then working through it the rest of the month is giving you space in how you choose to go about your life moving forward. And you will find moments of pure happiness and enjoyment, and whether you're with someone or you will meet someone, again, whether they last or not, they're a part of this journey that you're on right now in learning what tradition is for you. Because you're switching, so much is transitioning, or maybe transitioning in your work and career, especially for Sag risings, that you may need to challenge yourself to come back to the present. And it's not in a way where you're avoiding you're making decisions for the future, but it's coming back to the present moment and noticing how you feel in making those decisions. Where are you coming from, right? Are you allowing yourself space and clarity? Are you giving yourself time to really go through the contract? Are you giving yourself time and space to process what it is that Mercury has surfaced for you in the areas of work, and in how that makes you think in the world, how that makes you go about the world, how that affects your mental health, how that affects where you're at with your resources? Because the beautiful thing right now, and this is where I want to say, you may have thought that you were procrastinating or something for a while, but we need to reframe procrastination, because we live in a world where we think we're all supposed to work in the same or go in the same direction, and we're just not. And I think that's why a lot of people get drawn to astrology, because there's so much room. There's so much room for each sign to be themselves, and it's so unique within each chart, which is even greater, because you have to remember, this is just a general reading. If we get in depth, baby. So as you are shifting and changing from certain black and whites into the gray, because like, this is what's interesting, is like, it's all gray behind here. It's not white, right? It's learning to be in some of the gray area in order to find, because they're both golden spheres as well, to find the golden sphere, to find that energy, to find that value within what we believe, what you believe, that you can create your own structure. And that if that makes you feel out of control at times, maybe finding the opposite. What makes you feel in control? Get in your body. Have a conversation. What makes you feel grounded in that moment? Maybe you need to eat something. Maybe you need to talk to someone. Maybe you need to give of service. What is it for you, Sagittarius? Maybe you need to take a bath. I don't know. Touch water. Go on a drive. What is it for you? Because it's preparing you. This is preparing you. And what I was going to say, is to just follow your energy this month, because it'll all be done the way it's supposed to, especially when those moments you question. I want you to remember just to trust and follow your energy, because we're wrapping up the eclipses in your section of pleasure, romance, creativity, energy, children. Creative energy, they say, but I think it's sometimes can be different. And you may find that you want to develop something even further, that you're finishing up whatever you needed to maybe heal in that area. And then next season, when we wrap up the eclipses in Libra and Aries, it's going to allow you to see who really is worth being in your life. So if you don't want to make any drastic decisions, wait till the first week of October, or you'll notice then you'll see a shedding. I'm walking everywhere lately and I'm seeing so many feathers everywhere. I don't know if that is just a me thing, probably, hopefully not, but it depends on what you notice. But this is the time of year when the birds are shedding. I forget exactly what it's called, but this is could be what you feel, is that so much is shedding from you, the stronger that you feel about yourself. Because this connection between yourself and who you are and how you're seen in the world, and the confinements, the restraints that you put on yourself, you need to realize what you've overcome. Maybe that's the reflection, is to see where you've overcome, Sagittarius, because you'll realize that that's prepared you for this moment to move things around, shake things up, and trust, Capricorn in the second house. It wants to help you revolutionize how you make money from now until November. Maybe you give yourself a few-month experiment, and maybe it becomes a lifelong thing, and that you didn't realize that you decided was going to be an experiment. This was a lot more than I thought it was going to be, Sagittarius, and I'm really excited for the second part. Oh, you're in perfect timing. It's not procrastination. I was like wondering where that fucking thought went. Yeah, it's that perfect timing to allow yourself to expand here. And know that wherever traditions you decide to evolve or break free from, and sometimes those can go hand in hand and one is a bridge for the other, just commit to it all the way. And if you get bored along the way, just ask to be reminded why you need to go this way. And if you need to shift, but remember that the energy, that's what you're looking for. It's not about the rush you get from the adrenaline. That's more of addiction. It's not about the rush you get from starting something new. It's about the feeling you get from knowing something that lights you up and that you can do, and that's something that you realize that you always come back to. Over and over again, you'll realize throughout life it's something you always come back to, and it makes you feel like empowered, but you're going to realize what exactly it is. So you have it in your back pocket. It's that cute thing. All right, we'll get into the second part. I'm excited. We'll see you there. Oh, all information to book with me is below. My website is up. Everything is there. Usually I know people, the watch time isn't this long, but hopefully you'll stay tuned for longer. We'll see you next time.